We have some breaking news right now. A CHP pursuit in progress of a carjacking suspect.
That's right, and we see it's coming to an end as we speak, as we see those suspects getting out of the car and taking off. CHP right behind them. Mike Rogers has been watching this for us.
I gotta get one of them.
Desmond, he's up in Sky Cal. Desmond, what's going on as we see these suspects just running all over the place?
Got, yeah, big tackle right there with one of the three suspects here off of Lorenza Court here, Broadway Street in the San Gabriel Valley. This was a very dangerous pursuit that took us a long time to get caught up with here. It began with industry with sheriff's deputies, and they were going 125 miles an hour in this vehicle here on the westbound 60 at one point. This Dodge Challenger. So three people in the car. I think they were driving so crazy that they gave themselves a flat tire, and then they ran into this neighborhood. Unclear if they meant to run into this cul-de-sac here, into this dead end, but the second that they got in, three suspects got out. We just witnessed at least one of them getting tackled. Still trying to get a couple more. Here's another one who was, I think, in the back seat, did not get out and run. Actually, and it looks like we may have all three now in custody. So this was a wanted carjacking suspect, and they thought that the suspect was armed with a gun. So this really could have gone south quickly had it not gone this way. But the three people here in custody amazingly did not end in a crash after the really crazy speeds that we had heard about on this pursuit. Chauncey and Susie.
All right, thank you. And this is the end of the pursuit. This is in Temple City, we're told, in San Gabriel Valley, actually. Desmond Shaw just kind of describing what happened here, saying that these suspects at one point going 125 miles per hour westbound on the 60, ended up getting that flat tire, but then end up here in this cul-de-sac, stopping here as CHP officers closed in on them. And then we saw two of those suspects at least getting out of the car and then running. We know two of them have been arrested.
That's right. Right when we brought you to the scene here from Sky Cal is right when they actually terminated this part of the pursuit, and that's when those suspects jumped out. And we watched as Desmond was showing us these shots of each one of these suspects being arrested, the first one being the driver, we believe, and then the two suspects in the back as well as passengers. Those are the two passengers in the back. But again, this was a very dangerous pursuit ending here on Lorenza Court in the San Gabriel Valley in Temple City, and three people under arrest. And I want to throw it over to Mike Rogers at the desk for just a minute to get an update. Mike?
Yeah, Susie and Chauncey, my colleagues over on our desk are also working this, and we just got some information. This actually happened in LAPD's Hollenbeck area. So this is originally an LAPD want, and what happened is the car had the plate put into the system, and law enforcement to be on the lookout for it. Well, these industry deputies are the ones that picked up on it, and they called it what's called a 1029 Frank David suspect, which is a armed felony suspect. So that's what this was wanted for. And then they got behind it. And, the sheriff's department is usually the first to give up the chases, and they hung on to this for a while until it got onto the freeway. Then they wanted CHP to get involved. And again, 125 miles an hour, Sky Cal coming from the east, which is almost the max speed of how fast Sky Cal can go. So we weren't able to make a lot of headway. And as I'm looking at the suspects down here, and Des, correct me if I'm wrong, they look very, very young. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of these are kids or teenagers.
Yes, the one here in the white pants looks to be particularly young, might be a minor. The driver was out there scurrying all over the place and then got tackled. They look pretty young as well. And then the one that is right up against the cruiser, I believe, is the one that was in the back seat and didn't look like they made any attempt to run. They just, they were in the back seat. If they were trapped or just thought better of it here, that they could not get away, they surrendered immediately. All three of them, the two that had gotten out had scattered in different directions, but they were able to tackle both of them pretty quickly. So all three of the people now in the vehicle are now in custody.
And it looks like we're getting some new information right now from the desk saying that it's actually 4 suspects in custody, including the driver. So 3 passengers total inside this car. So that's some new information that we're getting. But again, the end of a pursuit, a very dangerous one, ending in the San Gabriel Valley tonight.
That's right, and these suspects going up to 125 miles per hour. And Desmond, you also talked about how dangerous this could be because police had information that a suspect might have been armed. Mike even talked about how this came through as an armed felony suspect. When did you get on top of this chase with them going 125 miles per hour?
We weren't even able to get up on top of them when they were going 125 miles an hour, as we had a lot of distance to cover to get overhead. We weren't able to get close to them until they were well off the freeway, where they were still going 70 miles an hour on some of the surface streets, but they were going in different directions, and that allowed us to, beeline it here and catch up with them for the very end of this pursuit.
All right, Desmond, thank you very much. Again, the end of a pursuit with 4 arrests made.